Yoma, Daf 3. Continuing our study in Tractate Yoma, the tractate in the Talmud that is all about Yom Kippur. We are on the third Daf, which is the second page, because in the Talmud every page starts at page 2. And one of the reasons given is that if a book starts on page 2, then one never actually completes the book. It's not from 1 to the end. It's always going. It's always continuous. And so we're on Daf 3, which is the second page. Yoma Daf Gimel Amud Aleph. Pazar Kashab is a siman. It's an acronym. Pei Zayin Resh Kuf Shin Bet is an acronym for lottery, as a pious, as a new lottery is performed on that day to determine which priests will sacrifice the offerings that day. And the order established on Sukkot does not continue, the blessing of time. Zman, who has given us life, sustained us, and brought us this time, is recited just as it is recited at the start of each festival. The festival is Regel, Pazar, Regel, festival, as it is considered a festival in and of itself. And there is no mitzvah to reside in the sukkah. And there's no mitzvah to reside in the sukkah? I'm not sure what that's referring to, but because in sukkahs there definitely is a mitzvah to reside in the sukkah. So maybe they're talking about during Yom Kippur. I don't know. Offering a korban as a number of offerings, sacrifice on the 8th day is not a continuation of the number offered on Sukkot, but is part of a new calculation. Song, Shira, as the Psalms recited by the Levites, as the offerings were sacrificed on the 8th day, are not a continuation of those recited on Sukkot. Blessing, Beracha, as the addition to the third blessing of grace after meals, and the Amidah is phrased differently than the addition recited on Sukkot. Aval le'inyan Tashlumin, Darishon hu Tahatanan, מי שלא חג ביום טוב הראשון של חג, חוגג והולך כל הרגל כולו, ויום טוב האחרון של חג. However, despite all these differences with regard to compensation for failure to sacrifice the festival offerings at the earliest opportunity, everyone agrees that it is a day of compensation for obligations not met during the first festival, as did we learn in the Mishnah. One who did not celebrate on the first festival day of Sukkot by sacrificing the festival offering may celebrate and sacrifice the festival offering throughout the whole festival in its entirety, including the last festival day of the festival of Sukkot. Apparently, the 8th day of assembly is considered the last festival day of Sukkot, and is appended to it with regard to its obligations. Ve'ema atzeres debrish hashiva liyoim echod hu Omer Rav Abo donin par echod ve'ayil echod mipar echod ve'ayil echod liapuke atzeres lishnei elim ninu. The Gemara challenges further and say that the priest should be sequestered before the festival of Shavuot, which is a festival preceded by weekdays, as there too it is a matter of sequestering 7 days for 1 day. Rabbi Abba said there is a distinction between the inauguration and Shavuot, as one derives an instance where the obligatory offering is 1 bull and 1 ram, Yom Kippur from an instance where the obligatory offering is 1 bull and 1 ram. The inauguration to the exclusion of Shavuot, where there are 2 rams that are offered. Hanich leman de'omar Yoma Kippurim, ayil echad hu, ela leman de'omar shnei elim ninu, ma'ika lemeimar, Titanya Rabbi Oimer, ayil echad, hu ha'amor kan, hu ha'amor bechumash ha'pekudim. Rabbi Eliezer ורבי שמעון אומר, שני אלים הם, אחד אמור כאן ואחד אמור בחומש הפקודים. The Gemara challenges this works out well according to the one who said that the obligatory offering on Yom Kippur is 1 ram. However, according to the one who said that they are 2 rams that are sacrificed on Yom Kippur, what is there to say? According to that opinion, Yom Kippur is not comparable to the inauguration, as it was taught in a Braita. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi says, 1 ram is the one that is mentioned here, as it is written. With this, Aaron will come into the sanctuary, with a young bull for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, Leviticus 16:3. And it is the same one that is mentioned in the book of Numbers. And on the 10th day of the 7th month, you will have a sacred gathering, when you will afflict your souls. You will not do any labor, and you will offer a burnt offering to the Lord for a sweet aroma. 1 bull, 1 ram. Numbers 29, 7-8. Rabbi Eliezer, son of Rabbi Shimon, says, there are 2 rams offered on Yom Kippur, 1 mentioned here in the book of Leviticus, and 1 mentioned in the book of Numbers. Afilu tema Rabbi Eliezer Rabbi Shimon, hasimcha lechoy v'sayoim, v'cha lemusafin, le'apok yetzeres, t'tarvai v'chov v'sayom ninu. The Gemara rejects this solution. Even if you say that it is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer, son of Rabbi Shimon, and 2 rams are brought on Yom Kippur, a distinction remains between Yom Kippur and Shavuot. There, with regard to Yom Kippur, 1 ram mentioned in the book of Leviticus is for the obligation of the day, Chovat Hayom, the atonement of Yom Kippur, and 1 ram mentioned in the book of Numbers is for the additional offerings. This is to the exclusion of the halacha with regard to Shavuot, where both rams are obligations of the day. Therefore, there is no basis for deriving the halacha with regard to Shavuot from the inauguration. Ve'ema Rosh Hashanah de Prishas Shiva liyoim echad hu Amar Rabbi Yavahu דנין פעם ועיל שלוי מפעם ועיל שלוי ויאפוק יצרס בראש השונה דציבור נינו הניח למדו מלכך לכו משלכו. So the Gemara asks and say that the requirement derived is to sequester the priest prior to Rosh Hashanah. As there too, it is the sequestering of 7 days for 1 day. The days before Rosh Hashanah are weekdays. And as in the inauguration, a bull and a ram are sacrificed. Rabbi Bahu said that this too is rejected. One derives a bull and a ram that the high priest brings from his own property on Yom Kippur from a bull and a ram that Aaron brought from his own property at the inauguration. This is to the exclusion of Shavuot and Rosh Hashanah, when the bull and the ram sacrificed are from community property and not owned by the priest. The Gemara asks, this works out well according to one who said that every time the Torah utilizes the phrase take you, it means from your own property. And just to continue it now on 3b, Aseh lecha mishalach, Elaman davar davar shalom tzibur ma'ikla meimar. And similarly, when the Torah states make you, it means from your own property. However, according to the one who said And when the Torah states both phrases, it means from communal property. What is there to say to distinguish between Yom Kippur and the other days?